And part two of our affair here, the inter-school matchup, the Monroe Mustangs against the Monroe Express. Familiarity as Chris Neely here in his first ever battle of this one, the former JV coach and head coach of the Express, 100-plus wins here against Jeff Brosnad's squad. 4-game winning streak, 18 wins. Their recent one over Harcum, Express have won their last two. Both teams exploded in their first halves in those victories. Here's Jabnel Cordero, the 18-point scorer and leader from last game. Barnes, the Simon. Cordero, three-ball aligned. Off the mark, and Warren Jr. with it. The Rochester native pops out. Here's Melvin Council Jr. Cross court and a three. Off the back iron, knocked around. There's Isaiah Stone able to corral. Rebound number 255, a single season record of the Baldwin, New York product. Out to Josiah Barnes for three. That's short. Melvin Council Jr. his 181st team leading rebound. As Onstrad driving and scoring as the Swede, third in scoring at 8.8 points per game, gets the first bucket. Offensively, it starts with Stone, but Barnes is the chef that makes it happen. 105 assists this year, top 10 in the country in assists. Now Stone, rejected going up. It's going to be a 1 versus 24 battle. Stone can't win it that time. Knocked around and out of play. So he got the offensive board, could not get it to go. And now Melvin Council Jr. to inbound. Led all scorers with 28 points, 16 of those 28 in the first half. The two-time NJCAA Player of the Week. Here's Keith Warren. He had 23 with 5 threes, a team high in that win against Harcum. Watched by Josiah Barnes. Council Jr. watched by Jaden Simon. Known for excellent rebounding, also had a career-high 14 last game. Onstred for three. Off the back iron. A board corralled by Isaiah Stone. It's what he does best. Top 10 in the country in that category. Currently 6th in the country in rebounding. Barnes feeds Simon. Jaden head fakes, laying off the mark. And a big defensive board by Janacek. Second on this team with 12 blocks as Warren Jr. shot off the mark. Melvin Council Jr. the offensive board. He can't score. Trying to knock it home again. And Babakar Niang with the defensive board. And it's going to be on the glass where both teams are going to have to be solid, but especially for the Express if they want to pull off this victory. Simon over to Cordero. Leaves it for Josiah Barnes. Barnes second in scoring at 10.3 points per game. Simon a 2. That off the mark. Stone trying to knock it over home. Offensive board, Barnes. And we have a foul. And okay, good. Just see where it was going as Danicic will commit the first for the Mustangs. They've been outstanding. Of course, Harcum dominated them, then they really pulled away as Stone out to Cordero. 4-3. Good! And the Express take the lead. Javnell's team leading 39th. 3 made. He was a team high with 18 points, led all scorers that played in the last game against Kingsborough. 4 3-pointers. Career best for him in that one. Danicic trying to go to Council Jr. Cordero says no. The Puerto Rican spinning and getting an ooh and ah from the crowd. Barnes, 3-ball. Good! Express back-to-back threes. Their bench alive, knowing what they have to do to take on an explosive Monroe Mustang squad. Warren Jr. watched by Josiah Barnes. Gill goes up, that too strong, and Simon with a defensive board. Express on a 6-0 run. Here's Josiah Barnes to Stone on the baseline. Fade away, short. And a big defensive board by Warren Jr. Keith Warren Jr., a Monroe Mustang Player of the Week, as Melvin Council Jr. does what he does best, sticking from deep. And the Express lead 2-1. Josiah Barnes climbing up the single-season records there in assists, just a freshman with 105. He's the chef of this squad. Cordero has done outstanding here scoring-wise, 10.2 points per game. As Niang, that one off the mark, and a big board by Gill, and now can the Mustangs retake the lead? Warren Jr. to Gill, had trouble handling, stolen by Simon. Working on Council Jr. Simon gets it up and in. That's what you have to do over Melvin. And then a foul called after. So the Express punching away. Of course, we saw when they took on Cecil College, the top 20 squad out of D2 came out punching early. And so far doing the same here. Both teams playing very good basketball. Express had 52 first half points in that blowout win. 84-52 over Kingsborough. Kingsborough nowhere close to the talent you're going to see from this Mustang squad, but playing well going into their inter-school matchup. Keith Warren Jr. had that knocked away. Stone to Barnes, laying good. And Jeff Brostad with his hands on his hips, already frustrated with this squad. They're down by 5, largest they have trailed by so far. Keith Warren Jr., Danicic to Melvin Council Jr. for 3, short. And Chris Neely knows what Melvin can do from deep. Team leader at 24.2 points per game. Shout out to his parents who tune in all the time. Rochester native, been making it fun for the fans to watch this year and on the Monroe College Mustangs Sports Network. Cordero walking it up the floor. He had 17 against Thomas Nelson Community College. That was the last time the Express had 5 players with double figures. They did that in the previous game. Simon for 2, short. Big offensive board by Cordero, and so far the glass belongs to the Express. Right now, a reset by Josiah Barnes. Now Stone, that J off the mark, and a big rebound by Keith Warren Jr. It's already his 3rd today. Underneath, and Gill cannot connect, but he will go to the free throw line. First foul on the Express. So 4-game winning streak for the Mustangs. And of course, last game, as we mentioned, a hot shooting performance, but they have shot over 45% in these last 2 games, 50 the previous game before Harcum. And what's even bigger about that one, they gave Sullivan Community College, an undefeated and top 10 team from Division II, their first loss as the first of 2 free throws going down. Shot 72.2% in that one. as Keon Gill getting his first points. And his second. So the Express have led by as much as 5. A back and forth affair. An inter-school matchup, and for Keith Warren Jr., that will be his first foul. Of course, 23 points last game for Keith Warren Jr. 5 threes made in that one. Played at McQuaid Jesuit up there in Rochester. Get to play the likes of a Greg Paulus from Christian Brothers, another good program. Wouldn't know that in upstate New York, but quality basketball is played. As Stone, nice fake, and his fall away cannot go, and he touched that last. Yes, battling with Danicic. So defensive dead ball, and it will go over now for the Mustangs, trying to get things rolling. As Council Jr. sees a double team. Keith Warren Jr. watched by Cordero. Hands to Gill. Odstead to Danicic. Fall away Jay. Good! Oh, shades of Vladdy Divac. As Danicic knocking down, and it's a 1-point game. Tempo going to be picked up. And we will see our first substitution as Stone will step off, and in comes Johnson, Isaac Johnson. Of course, he was a part of the Express 2 years ago before the pandemic, but health, he couldn't get on the court. He's been phenomenal as a sixth man, second with 132 rebounds, 6.6 per game, as Barnes could not knock down that three. Johnson, the offensive board and put back. The man who tipped home the game-winning bucket to knock off number 2, Nassau Community College, has the lead back to 3, and an offensive foul. No, will be traveling. Turnover anyway. He just won't score the foul. So the Express lead by 3. And when they lost earlier this year, they were blown out by a substantial amount to Orange County College, Community College. They definitely got their first taste of what it's like to be speedy and up-tempo, and so far looking really good in this one. Barnes, Johnson looking underneath Niang, lays it home. Babacar starting to feel it. Niang had a double-double, career highs against Ulster Community College, and the punches keep coming. The Express expect that as Onstred knocks that one down. That'll be 5 for the Swede. Now Niang. Out to Barnes. Josiah driving, floating, off the back iron. Good job by Gill to knock it. A chance for the Mustangs to tie in this possession with a 3, take the lead. Danicic cannot connect. And a big board by Niang, his second. Barnes driving, pulls up, connects as the Express throwing punches at the Mustangs so far. Mustangs coming in on a 4-game winning streak. Anstrad driving, getting trapped to Council Jr. It's not when, but only a matter of time of when will this man score. And he had trouble there. Good job by Niang to force that. Now Cordero driving, and they're going to give a blocking foul to Keith Warren Jr. So that'll be the second Mustang foul, and Jabnel Cordero will go to the free throw line. Sophomore from Puerto Rico has just really been playing really good, and you could really point to Jabnel playing his best really during that Virginia road trip, is where he really started to steam up. 3 straight double-figure games, 15 against Central International, 14 against Bryant and Stratton, and 17, of course, against Thomas Nelson Community College. He had 18 last game, going 7 for 15. See the first action from Hamdel Mohammed. Yes, a guy who's known for the blocks, tops on the Mustangs with 18. Although he came off the bench against Howard Community College to score 18 and get 16 off the glass. As Braylon Joe will step in too. Career high for him, 10 against Hostos. As Council Jr., not a factor, cannot knock down the 3. But when the Express get free throw opportunities, they have to knock them down today. Cordero, head fakes. Fade away, cannot go, as that was a good challenge by Joe. Problem is that hit Anstrad late, so it will stay with the Express. Babacar Niang, who you're looking at, they're walking around, as mentioned, against SUNY Ulster, career highs, 20 points, 15 rebounds, and a guy that Chris Neely really feels is coming on as the season progresses. And coming on so much, his teammates continue to trust him. Sometimes down low, can't get every pass, but still hotter and hotter as Cordero could not get that to go. That's a good call by the officials. Johnson going to get an offensive foul. So that'll be his first, his team's second, and inbound now coming from Taiji Kelton off 12 points last game. Braylon Joe, Hamdel Mohammed, Council Jr., Onstred in the 5. Here's Melvin from deep. Got it. And finally, the leading scorer on this squad coming through. 6 points for him as the Express by 1. Johnson, what a response! Isaac with 4 in this one. Deep, deep roster. He had 3 double-figure games and that Virginia road trip. Johnson in the game making an impact, and some struggles there handling, and the timeout called. I think the Express will take one. 32nd, and that's where it is, 18-15, as Alexavia Smith, my producer and director, the final part of our inter-school matchup here today. The Monroe Mustangs got the better of Jeremy Thompson's Express, 67-42. I'm John Kelly Jr., SID for the Monroe College Express. As the men duking it out, of course, Monroe Mustangs 4-game winning streak, 18 wins. And Chris Neely, of course, really the first year he gets to coach this squad, and did a heck of a job keeping everyone together and recruiting during the pandemic. Not easy. Of course, 8 seasons served as the JV coach here, AIP GCC Coach of the Year in 2019-2020. And he also is a high school teacher as well. He has a new thing that he likes to put in his office. His basketball philosophy about character, commitment, communication, and compete. And compete his team has been doing here against a red-hot Mustang squad, riding a 4-game winning streak, and 2 players that scored 20 points. The man guarding Isaac Johnson, the leader with 28 in that one, Council Jr., and Keith Warren Jr. Cordero, 3-ball. Good! When Jabnell gets hot, watch out. Cordero now with 6 points in this one. Barnes with 7, Cordero with 6. 3-ball, Kelton, defensive board, grabbed by Isaac Johnson. Barnes gonna walk it up the floor. Josiah, too, really starting to feel his scoring stroke. Chris Neely really wants to see Josiah shoot more and more as foul. And that'll be the 4th to the Mustangs, who the Express have really kind of shocked coming out of the gate here so far. So that is Onstred's first foul, his team's 4th. Josiah Barnes with 2 double-figure games in the last 4. That one off the mark, and a battle between Kelton and Simon for that one, and the arrow going to go over to the Mustangs. Jeff Brosted, 19th season for him. He's now at 492 career wins through 19 seasons. Unbelievable. District Coach of the Year 8 different times, and his team obviously starting to really hit their stride. He told me obviously earlier this year, you really kind of throw out those first couple of games, get felt out, but really honestly getting contributions from everyone, about building a deep roster, and he clearly has it. Braylon Joe has 39 assists, trying to convert there on the jumper. Cannot. Cordero threw it away, got to the board, then threw it away to Isaac Onstrand. A lethal 3-point shooter. Down low to Mohammed, and foul called on the Express. Hamdel came off for 18 and 16, a double-double. Came out really very well this year. 4 double-figure games. 3 of them were in the first 4 this year. And against Howard, the cherry on top for that 18th point, the buzzer-beating, game-winning tip-in. As this Mustang squad, listen, has accumulated tons of big victories this year, as Council Jr. on the offensive glass. 6-point lead for the Express. Muhammad for 2. Off the mark, defensive board by Jaden Simon and the glass, where the Express really dominating in this one so far, keeping it in their favor. Barnes, watched by Joe. Over to Johnson with 2 today for the field goals, and that'll be a foul again on him. He has 4 points, and for Johnson, that'll be his second personal, his team's 5th. Joe, Kelton, Council Jr., Muhammad, and Onstrad in the 5 for this Mustang squad. Joe had trouble with that. Check that. Kelton trouble with that pass from Joe, and jump ball, and it will go over now to the Express. Isaac Johnson will step off. Babakar Niang coming back on. As really, Niang, great to see the way he's been playing lately. The freshman only going to get better. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds last game. 2 double-digit rebounding performances, but really he's been pulled in a couple of games this year to think he may have a few more of those based on how he's played, as Barnes really just taking it right to Joe. And that will be the 5th foul to the Mustangs. Barnes out now to McNair, who checks in. Sadiq, one of the 5 players to score in double figures last game, had 11. Stone, Niang, Simon in the 5. And he threw that one away. Great force by Joe. Now in transition, trying to go to Melvin Council Jr. Kelton trying to help out. Number 1's where the ball's going, and the Express know that. They, in transition, are always looking for where number 1 is on the floor. Niang, pull up Jay. Good! Wow, great score in transition. And the Express really throwing body blows here to this Mustang team. An 8-point first half lead. Council Jr. connects from 3. So that is 9 points for Melvin Council Jr. He's just 1 point away from another double-figure game, and a throwaway by Stone. Now Council Jr. one-on-one with Isaac Stone. NJCAA Players of the Week against each other, and Stone wins that duel as Council Jr. throws it away. Alexavius Smith, John Kelly Jr., your play-by-play man. I am with the Monroe Express, the SID. The inter-school matchup between these men's squads, both of them really trying to make a statement for the Monroe Mustangs, coming in on a 4-game winning streak. Of course, they knocked off number 7 Harcum College in their last game. The Express, while they have played 2 substandard opponents, they really blew them out and really kept it a certain way. In fact, actually having to run after their win against Kingsborough because they wanted to keep under 50, as McNair an assist to Stone from deep. And Isaiah Stone with his first bucket, team's leading scorer, and that's the key. It cannot always be about Isaac. 15.9 points per game. Onstrad, such a dangerous 3-point shooter. 42 coming in, was tops on the team in that category. Stone, another defensive board. Express up by 8, largest they have led by. And continuing, but Stone threw it away. Muhammad over to Anstrad. Pull up Jay. Short. Gets the offensive board. And a foul before Council Jr. could fire that one. So it'll be against the Express, their 6th. 1 more, and they are over the limit. Melvin Council, team leader, over 20 double-figure games. That comeback win against Cape Fear, 30 points, 18 rebounds in that one. Can't also forget, too, at the same time, he had 18 of the final points in that upset against Sullivan Community College, as Hamdel Muhammad draws contact. And you wonder now if Jeff Brewstead may want to go to the physical game down low. He has the horses to do that. And Muhammad to step to the line. As Muhammad trying to do it, knocks it down. So he goes 1 for 2 at the line, had 12 against Hostos Community College. And Duke turns it over. 7 double-figure games for Muhammad. And Council Jr. draws the 8th express foul, and now he'll go to the free throw line. As played at University Prep from Rochester, New York. A shout out to his family, as I was told by SID of the Monroe Mustangs, David Spiegel. Tune in, and it's been a fun guy to watch. 28 last game, 35 against Sullivan County Community College. 18 of those in the final minutes of the game to knock that team off, as he knocks down the first of 2. Of course, his season high is 35. Did it against Erie Community College as well. That comeback against Cape Fear during that Christmas holiday tournament. 30 points, 18 rebounds. That was his first double-double of the weekend. Massive road win, big comeback. As also Keith Warren Jr. had 30 in that as well. It's all hands on deck there. And for the Express, their 8-point lead is now down to 5. Council Jr. is now in double figures, driving on Duke. Splits him, feeds Onstred. He'll go inside. Extra pass, Joe for 3. That one is short. Knocked around Niang with the defensive board. And the Express have been able to be very strong here on the glass. 4th rebound for Niang. McNair, 3-ball. And Muhammad wins that duel. As Council Jr. 1-on-1 with Barnes. To Joe. Denied, out to Onstred. Feeds underneath. And that one could not go down by Kelton. So he will go to the free throw line. As Muhammad picking up his 3rd rebound before that exchange. 3rd foul on Niang. So the thing is with Niang, you need him down low, but foul trouble has hurt him this year. And the Express, when he's in the lineup, there's just such a different team. And they'll have 2 subs that come in as Kelton cannot knock down the first of 2. So Jaden Simon will come in, and we'll see big Damon Brooks Jr. coming in for the bed alongside Jabnell Cordero. Sixth, the career high for Brooks Jr. against Borough of Manhattan Community College from last year. Stone, Cordero, Simon, Barnes in the 5. First action we will see today from Brandon Hodge. Mohammed, who made that steal. Council Jr., Kelton, Onstred in the 5. And nice job by Mohammed to draw contact on Brooks Jr. And now with 2 free throws, this could be a 1-possession game. Mustangs with the last 4 points. Melvin Council Jr. leading them with 11 points, has knocked down 3 threes. Express getting a bevy of players to score, 6 different scores, as Muhammad knocks down the first of 2. Josiah Barnes leading all scores with 7. 7 double-figure games for Hamdell as he knocks that one down. So it was an 8-point lead, largest of the game, and now we are 1 possession in this inter-school matchup between the Monroe Express, the Division III school here, and, of course, the Monroe Mustangs. Been a good one so far. Cordero for 3. Good! He'll just continue to rip away. And you're really wondering, in transition, if he keeps feeling it, that's exactly what the staff continues to say. Give him the basketball. He's 1 away from another double-figure game. A slick shooter from the Commonwealth, as they call it, of Puerto Rico, has extended the lead to 5. Hodge for 3, off the mark. Barnes has an easy board. He'll take it defensively. Every possession matters because with the explosiveness of this Mustang squad, you need to take every possession positively. Stone, fadeaway, off the back iron. Great rebound by Hodge. Trying to push it in transition to Council Jr. 3-ball rips cord. Melvin's 4th today. And it's a 1-possession game. Council Jr. with 14. Leading all scorers. The man The Express doing it. Barnes got it to Simon, who gets it across the timeline. Stone to Simon. Jaden, lay-in. Not good, and he also gets an offensive foul called. So a chance on this possession for the Mustangs to tie at 29 or take a 1-point lead. And Isaac Johnson will come in. So he has to be careful. 2 fouls. He has 4 points in this one. Johnson, great 6th man. Of course, coming in, end of the year, was shooting last 3 games 17-31 after 2021. And Kelton knocks down, and we are tied. Express led 26-18. Just 3 points since that point. 13-3 Mustang run, and that looked like it was partially tipped by Muhammad. We'll see if they stat him with a block. Council Jr. out to Kelton. So many men on this Mustang roster can get the job done scoring when number 1 isn't leading in scoring, but he is with 14. Hodge looking for a pick. Instead going to take it himself. Working on Simon. Simon wins the duel, forces the turnover, and gets the steal. Barnes walking it up the floor. Josiah Barnes now 2nd in single season history in assists. With 105, he's getting closer and closer to Gian Batista's mark, a man who set several here, and Damon Brooks Jr. just pummeling Hamdel Muhammad. And he'll get the offensive foul. And substitution coming in now for the Mustangs. So Gerald Campbell will come in. Council Jr., Hamdel Muhammad. Hodge, Kelton in the 5 for the Mustangs. But an entertaining first half. Jumper by Kelton couldn't go. Muhammad, the offensive board, gets it and the foul. And when he needs to be called upon, number 22 can be called upon. And now a 3-point play opportunity. Express just 3 points. Sets leading by 8, 26-18. It's a 13-3 run, 14-3 Mustang run. They lead by 3. As the Express have led throughout this first half against the Division I Monroe College Mustangs. Team riding a 4-game win streak and a turnover by Johnson. Hamdel Muhammad turning and scooping it and putting home. And Chris Neely wants to talk it over with his boys. As Muhammad there, 4 points on back-to-back exchanges. And it is now a 5-point lead for the Mustangs, as the Express have led them for 77%, as our stats say here, of the first half. And let's just get in here to some full stats, as 18-14 in total rebounds here, Mustangs, as the Express have only had 2 free throw attempts. Just a 13 total, really showing you just how well both teams are playing defensively, not really giving up much. And of course, Mustangs with their largest lead here at the 2:14 mark by 5, picking that up via Hamdel Muhammad's steal and scoop score. And let's get you some other stats here, as Melvin Council Jr. with 14 points. The Express getting it done. Listen, if you're Coach Neely, you got to be happy with this. 6 different scores. Of course, Jabdel Cordero, 3 threes, 9 points, shooting 75% from deep. Folks, that's a number in of itself, as Cordero now has knocked down 3 or more threes now. Six times this year. Unbelievable. 5, of course, he knocked down against Thomas Nelson Community College. That was a career high. 4 last game. That'd be 7 threes for him. So 7 of 13 he shot from 3 over these past 2 games. Barnes, Johnson, Duke coming in. Brooks Jr. Express would like to finish the first half. and make it an entertaining following 20 minutes. It's been great so far, and Chad Duke kind of got mixed up with Josiah Barnes on where he was going. And Chad Duke, another player with such raw ability. He can jump out of the gym. There were a few highlights of him just dunking like insanely at BMCC. But again, like Babacar Niang, a project that has so much potential, and there's times where Chad can really fly. Chad, of course, there on your right wing side, 14 against nationally ranked Cecil Community College. He was huge that day when the Express needed a jolt. Fadeaway J is good as the Mustangs really starting to feel it now. They lead by 7, largest they have led by first bucket today by Campbell. As a kick ball on Melvin Council Jr. Express led 26-18. Since that point, Jeff Brewstead's squad has really settled down. 18-3 run since that point. An 18-3 run. So Duke gets it. Of course, all you want to do is just kind of chip away as Duke out to Cordero. They need this 3. That one can't go. Hamdel Mohammed, a big rebound. Big story for him in this first half. Working on Brooks Jr., and he knows he has a mismatch and exploits it. 9-point lead now for the Mustangs. A 20-3 run after the Express led by 8. Cordero, oh, nice spin move. Can he finish on the float? Oh, baby, are you kidding me? Oh, 11 points, leading all scorers. Hodge with a response. How about that? Get your popcorn, fans. This is worth it. Duke to Barnes. Cordero, 4-3. That one can't go. And Lule Muhammad had touched that last. And you can really see here, Josiah Barnes, you see at midcourt, he's fired up. Regardless of what the score is, the Express have confidence after this first half. They know they could hang in there, but Mustangs able to really kind of put it together here down the stretch. And before that Cordero two-pointer, 20-3 run after trailing 26-18 as 38 seconds to go. The shot clock has a 9-second differential as Hodge almost turned that over. Then Isaac Johnson picked up his 3rd foul. So that will be, regardless, double bonus. So free throws coming for the Mustangs. And Chad Duke will come back in as Hodge has stepped to the line for the Mustangs. Cortland Manor, New York product. Season high 7 points against CCBC Dundalk. That was 25 minutes he played. Did that against Richard Bland as Stone will come back in. Of course, Isaiah Stone, when you talk about building a program, as Hodge connects. So it's an 11-point game. The Express led by 8. Sets that point just 5 points. 24-5. They've been outscored by the Mustangs here down the stretch. And Sadiq McNair turns it over to Council Jr. spinning. Cannot go home with that one, but he'll get 2 free throws. And with 14.6 seconds to go, this is why Coach Brewstead's squad has won 4 straight. Their ability to explode in bunches. We saw 18 of them come from this man, Melvin Council Jr., in that win against Sullivan County Community College. And now to lead to 12. As he can't knock down that second one. So 10 seconds to go. Can the Express get something? Just a 2 would be a good way to end this first half. McNair fouled going up. And free throws coming now for the Express. Well, you know, interesting when you talk about both these schools. Sadiq McNair, while trying to put together his bio as the SID of the Express, John Kelly Jr., your announcer here, saw that he had actually had the Monroe Mustangs logo up. I said, why? You're committed here. He originally was committed to play for Monroe College and the Mustangs. Ended up obviously coming over to the Express as he misses the first of 2. A talented freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who would surprise most people, roots for the Cincinnati Bengals, not the Birds as they call it. And he cannot make the 2 free throws. 2 seconds to go. Council Jr. Arnstead for 3 at the horn. No! But the Mustangs roar and, in horse terms, gallop. As they were down by 8, 26-18, they hold the Express to just 5 points and outscore them 25-5 and go in with a 12-point halftime lead. We'll turn off some sound here, and the second half will come together after this. 12-point lead for the Monroe Mustangs here in the inter-school matchup between both squads. And we're back here with the second half of play as 25-5, the Mustangs closed out that first half after an 8-point Express lead. And Danisic with the offensive board that he scrambles on the floor, knocked away from Stone, keeps it alive to Niang. No, they said he stepped on the line. He's not so thrilled with that call, as it will stay with the Mustangs. Express have rallied in second halves before. Knocked off Nassau Community College as Council Jr. cannot connect from three, as Melvin was the top scorer in that first half. As Barnes, the Stone, he's got to get going, and he puts it home in the foul. And we'll see who they gave it to. So the foul will be to Danisic, his second. Now Stone to the line. Isaiah blew up on the scene in the opener as he misses that chance at a three-point play. Came in after playing 29 games at Herkimer Community College. NJCAA Player of the Week. It was a single-game program record, opened up with 31 and a double-double in that 80-57 victory over Springfield Tech. Melvin Council Jr. out to Anstrand, comes on in. The Swede getting pressured. Good job by Stone. Will have a jump ball, and the arrow will go to the Express. Jabnel Cordero led all scorers with 11. Hamdel Mohammed with 10. Melvin Council Jr. with 15. Of course, Hamdel Mohammed huge down the stretch, forcing some turnovers and getting a score. His team riding a 4-game winning streak as the Mustangs looking for win number 19. Express trying to get their 16th win. 15-6 on the year, both teams on winning streaks. Barnes, too, short. And Keith Warren Jr. getting that defensive board. Of course, foul trouble kept him out as Anstrad for three. Good! As the Silky Swede knocking a deep tray down. 8 points for him. Now Niang gets fouled by Danisic. So that's the third for Nikola from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Of course, Serbia, all those areas really known for basketball. Young men watched the NBA on TV at night as Niang gets rejected by Council Jr., then gets a unnecessary foul. I was mentioned about Danisic before, and of course, foul there on Niang, but he was huge. Got that go-ahead bucket against Cape Fear. 10 points in that one for Nikola. And drew that foul before. The Niang picking up a foul. That's his fourth. So Babakar, with him out of the lineup, and just his development, you wonder, how did the Express counter Anstrad? He's like the Jabdel Cordero of this squad. Goes in for two, and he now has double figures. So 4 in double figures for the Mustangs. 10 for Mohammed. Council Jr. leading the way with 15. Barnes cannot respond. That's how the Express have an opportunity to come back and win. They got to respond, and offensive rebound, again, right there, could not be converted by Isaac Johnson. And an offensive foul as Gill ran over Jaden Simon, commander with 11 points off the bench against Cecil Community College. And Simon, a Swiss Army knife called by Chris Neely. It's unbelievable what you can see out of Jaden. 14 last game, a career high, but when they have needed a play, a stop on defense, he's always been there. From Brooklyn, New York, he's riding back-to-back double-figure games, 11 and 14. And draws a big offensive foul, of course, with just 2 tonight. So, Barnes, Stone, and Johnson with 2 assists apiece. He has 106, leads the team to Cordero. He's the leading scorer of the first half with 11. 9 to go. Express got to go. Stone. Danisic on him. And Johnson, he's got to shoot it, and it's a shot clock violation. That's exactly what I thought, and I think the officials are completely correct on that one. So, shot clock violation. And the Express so far, here in the second half. Try not to revert to their old ways. When they're playing hot, when they're playing within each other, in Region 15, they're probably in the Division III ranks, probably one of the toughest to take on, as Anstrad has now knocked down 2 threes here in this second half. He now has 13. Stone drawing contact on Janicic, so that should be his 4th, and hopefully he's okay. Nicola, a freshman, 6'8", 190. As both teams going hard at this. This is the 4th Mustang foul. They lead now by 18. They were trailing by as much as 8 in that first half. It was really crazy what had happened. They just went on a 25-5 tear, able to go into halftime with the lead by the score of 43-31. And since then have really kind of taken over as they try to make it 5 straight wins. Again, it was amazing this year. 3-3 start for Jeff Brewstead's squad. Okay, and since that point, they've won 15 of their last 17. That's a pretty good number. As Cordero, short and offensive foul. Yes, going to be on Isaiah Stone. Great job by Mohammed to box him out. So Stone, that's just his first personal. Express shooting 35%, 45% from 3. Knocked down 5 3-pointers. 3 of those from Jabnel Cordero, as Stone stealing the pass from Gill. Express got plenty of time. It's about putting together some possessions. Simon threw it away. Council Jr., could this be showtime? Oh, baby, it is! Elevation and throwdown. 17 from the Rochester native, and he's extended the Mustang lead to 20. Here's another NJCAA Player of the Week, Isaiah Stone, and drawing contact and going right back to the line. Well, when you're trying to come out of a pandemic, it's never easy, at least at the JUCO level, putting a team together, but it's always a plus when you have a kid who's played in these ranks. Herkimer Community College, one of the top 3 programs currently in the polls right now. And that's where Isaiah was at. 29 games he had played there. And he had plenty of experience coming in as he goes 1 for 2. He continues this year to really climb the charts. Over 300 now and 34 career points, so he's moved even further up now into the 4th place area, past Christopher Davis, as Onstred really starting to feel it here in the second half, and he will get some free throws coming his way. He's a freshman from Sweden, 14 against Sullivan County Community College as he goes 1 for 1 currently at the line. This is a huge win. What a comeback in that one. Unbelievable. Melvin Council Jr., 18 points down that stretch to beat a previously undefeated squad. But took everybody, as they said, took a village, as Isaac had 14, Kelton had 11, 10 from Danicic, 35 from Melvin Council Jr., and he's going to sit down. So for the Express, yeah, you're down by 20, but with number 1, actually he's going to not go out. He was walking like he was. Keep this man off the score sheet as Onstred for 3. Off the back iron, Stone able to get the board. Chad Duke in there, Johnson with him, and then Johnson picks up a very unnecessary foul as Duke will get his 2nd turnover. Stone his 4th rebound, and that is now the 4th to Johnson. So Babakar Niang and Isaac Johnson both with 4 fouls. And in that category, that'll make head coach Neely have to go smaller if they don't come off of that deal. Here's Duke. Fouled going to the tin. And that's what I was telling you about the raw ability of Chad Duke, his ability to just fly. He can jump out of the gym, and he's up limping a bit. And he'll go to the free throw line for the Express. They shot 90% against Kingsborough. in that blowout win, and Duke cannot make the first of two. But they've been shooting 70 or better coming into this one in 4 consecutive contests. And again, that's right where you want to be if you're going to go down the stretch and try to close in and get a home game here in the region, as he went 0 for 2, but an offensive board, but then threw it off the paw of Melvin Council Jr. And it will stay with the Express. So Stone on the inbound to Johnson. He's going to have to be careful. He has 4 fouls, and he's not been pulled yet, as Barnes to Duke. Nice crossover, pull up. Good. Oh, just what you needed. And the Express, a much needed bucket, and then a turnover forced. So we'll go right back to him. Of course, Barnes are going to sit. Barnes got to get it in. Able to throw it back to Duke. Chad Duke. Gonna drive. Oh, behind his back, fadeaway, air ball, and that touched Isaac Johnson last. And now you're gonna see Sadiq McNair probably come in for him. And that is exactly what's gonna happen. Chris Neely really loves what he has out of Duke, just wants to make sure he's getting the proper shots out of him. There's times where Chad can take shots that just make you scratch your head. The other times, really, he also can make some brilliant shots. So it's just about trying to get a balanced, talented freshman. He'll come off. McNair coming back on. Another one from Philly. As Gill tries the reverse and can, a jump ball. Arrow will stay with the Mustangs. Currently outscoring the Express 11-5 in this second half. Finished the first half on a 25-5 run. They're trailing 26-18, and now a 30-second timeout going to be taken by head coach Brewstead. So Coach Brewstead's team up by 18-20, of course, the biggest ledger that they led by 20 or more. As Alexavius Smith, my producer and director, I am the SID of the Monroe Express, John Kelly Jr. here with you, as Express have trailed by 20. That was the most they trailed by. They've led by as much as 8. Their last lead was at the 3:41 mark of the first half. And really, what a close by the Mustangs. That'll be the best way to kind of explain it to you, as the Mustangs finish on a 14-2 run. Of course, 25-5 overall down the stretch. And led by 12. Of course, Johnson has to be careful. Him and Niang both with 4 fouls apiece. Council Jr. to Hamdel Muhammad. Nice touch and put down. Mustangs get it done here. Multiple scores as Stone cannot connect on the J. Johnson, such an aggressive rebounder, cannot hold on. He'll go over to the Mustangs. Really, Johnson has just been feeling it too. 132 rebounds, as we mentioned, coming in 6.6 per game. Of course, he has to be careful. Has 4 fouls. It's a guy you just don't want to lose. Another solid 6th man as well. 2 double-digit rebounding performances in his last 6. Working on Council Jr. out to Anstred. Isaacs felt it all day. How about another triple from the Swede? Stone. 1-on-1. Pulls up and connects. Calls glass. So Anstred was 17. Council Jr. was 17. Stone 2 away from another double-figure game. 21-point lead for the Mustangs. Council Jr. 3-ball off the mark. Oh, God, several players fumbled over that one. Thrown to Anstad, who puts it down as Keith Warren Jr. on the assist. So Isaac with 19. And they're going to give Just 2 points, right? No 3-point play. So the lead now to 23, largest it has been for the Mustangs here in this inter-school matchup. It was a very entertaining first half. Express not trying to go away. Here's Jabdel Cordero, led with 11 points, and that is rejected by Muhammad, the big swat. But then can't get it in transition. And another area, we know about Council Jr.'s ability to score, but his passing and vision, you better be ready for when it comes to you. 75 assists, also leads the team in that category. And he turns that one over as McNair, Barnes, Cordero, Johnson, and Stone in the 5. Isaiah with 8, trying to get the double figures to Cordero. Over to McNair. Barnes, one-on-one. Guy that really you'd like to see shoot more. Silky shot as McNair. He's a dangerous slashing guard. Almost had his pocket picked by Gill. On the floor goes Johnson. I think he was out. A referee on the far side said yes. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a full timeout. And that will be taken by the Monroe Mustangs. Well, just going to look at Twitter here for the Monroe Mustangs, let you know if you're tuning in. But at least on our side, here for the Express, I'm the SID, John Kelly Jr., the play-by-play man. It's so lucky to be joined by Alexavia Smith. Good thing is that she didn't have to sit here for 3 games like me, Colin. That's a lot in a day, as we did a couple weeks ago. As this inter-school matchup was a good one, but Mustangs showing why that they're playing probably the best basketball of the season, at least what I would think from preparing for this game, up by 23, as they get it done, as always, multiple scores. That always makes things better every time you look at it, as they currently right now have 3 players in double figures. Of course, Isaac Edstred leading with 19, 17 from Melvin Council Jr., 10 from Hamdel Muhammad. And the Express, of course, being led by Jabdel Cordero. But just at times, just seems like the Mustangs are able to hit those key shots, including from 3, an area really where the Express had to defend the perimeter. And, they saw it too. This is very reminiscent, and it's interesting to see how they're going to finish here, to what happened when he was Cecil College. Punched with them the whole entire first half. Then we're down by 8, and some air went out of the balloon in that second half. And really trying to finish strong here. Still plenty of time to operate. 23 with the way Jabdel Cordero could get hot. Stone could get hot. All these guys on the floor, including with Sadiq McNair, can make a key 3-pointer. And they've been able to get the stops. It's just about converting on the other end. So here's Keith Warren Jr., Gill, Council Jr., Hamdel Muhammad, Isaac Anstred in the 5. Anstred with a team-high 19. And Isaac Stone going to get whistled for a foul. And he will be in here for Warren Jr. Came into that Mustang Classic a few weeks ago with 4 straight double-figure games. Nice job defensively by Cordero. I think we give him a block. Hamdel Muhammad with 2-hand flush. 12 points for Muhammad. You can see right now Jeff Brewstead fired up with his men. Very frustrated. Council Jr. cannot get the 3-point play. But Melvin to the line, the the Rochester native, that is. It's amazing when you look at upstate New York. You would think really for basketball it'd be the inner cities of New York. But very talented programs up there in that area. Of course, his teammate, Keith Warren Jr., McQuaid Jesuit, where he went to school. And Council Jr. knocking down the first of 2. Trying to make it 2 for 2, and he does. So Barnes to bring it back up. Cordero trying to get hot again, leading all scorers with 11. Barnes to McNair, pull up. Air ball and Stone to put home. So he's in double figures. He has 10. As Isaiah, the top 10 in the country in rebounding. stands 6th, 12.1 per game. As Warren Jr. puts that one down, Periscope. As it's 27-point lead. Barnes feeds Johnson. Laying good. Tried to put as much contact as he could into all 6'8" of Hamdan Mohammed. And Johnson coming out there for 6 points. Anstred, he's just been feeling it for 3. Don't leave him there. That would just hit the front of the rim. The team high 19 so far. As Barnes on the drive, Cordero, 3-ball. That one off the right rim. Mohammed with the board. His 6th. Alley-oop to Melvin Council Jr., and that probably is the 5th for Isaac Johnson. And that will be the end of it. He just did not, well, it's tough to see him foul out. Did not want to see Council Jr. make another highlight reel dunk on an alley-oop. And so that'll be the end of the evening for Isaac Johnson. But what a good game by Isaac again. And if it wasn't for fouls here, 4 rebounds, 5 points, he comes up. Babakar Niang has 4 fouls. He's going to come in. Jaden Simon with him. Stone, Barnes, and Cordero in the 5 as Council Jr. now with 20 in this game. Melvin, of course, top 5 in the country, 5th in the country in scoring average coming in at 24.2 points per game. And now he has now registered 20 or more points in 3 consecutive games. It's, of course, his 4th 20-point game in his last 5. As Simon tried to feather that through a lot of hands. And seems that we have a timeout called, 32nd, and it'll be by the Express. So let's give you something else. It's not just about basketball here on the hardwood, but go to the Twitter page here, the Monroe College Mustangs Twitter page, as their track and field team, big matchup this week of the John Thomas Terrier Classic in Boston, as they were able to smash records on Friday. Of course, the John Thomas Terrier Classic moved up because of the snow, so the men, at least for the Express, competed in just one event. But the Mustangs had a very, very, very good day as well. It's so tough with what Monica Stevens is just trying to build at the Express. That Monroe College is just so darn talented in what they are, including 2 programs in their track and field in the top 20 in the country. As the 800-meter, the Monroe Mustangs setting another record, 150.57 in the 800-meter. Distance medley relay, 11:51.81. Express as well set a record on Friday in the same category in the distance medley, a school record 10.5764, finishing 10th out of 12 schools that competed. And hats off to Jeremiah Herbert, Wade Stevenson, Dario Douglas, Romar Scott today setting another record in the 4x400 relay, where they finished 2nd at the Ramapo opener. 10 to shoot from the track to the hardwood. Cordero for 3, short, and that goes right to Anstred as the lead for the Mustangs at 27. Gill tees up a 3, short. Cordero, nice board. Keeps pushing it, the sophomore. Able to work through. Barnes plants, feeds Stone, and he lays it home. So Barnes getting another assist, and Isaiah Stone has now put up 12 points. He leads all scorers. He's really turned it on here in the second half. 25-point lead. Hodge gets it from Council Jr., watched by Barnes. Mohammed out to Council Jr. Trey, good. Just giving the finish like Jordan did, and then a blocking foul. So 28-point game. And while you look at it as the Express, you now are in the foul shooting bonus here. So you have the opportunity to really kind of chip away and maybe have a shot towards the end of this game with the final 9:32 to really maybe have a chance to, I don't know, get to 2, maybe one last possession. with this, but it's all about the free throws that have to go down. Express in the first half were really good, over 70%, just shooting 1 of 9 here in the second half from the charity stripe. Now 2 of 10 is Barnes at the line. Barnes cannot connect, but big offensive board by Stone. Simon thought about a 3 to Stone. Isaiah Stone then got his pocket picked by Hodge on the drive, and he gets fouled. So Brandon Hodge, the Cortland Manor, New York product, sophomore at 5'11", will go to the free throw line, and that'll be the third foul to Isaiah Stone. As Hodge knocks down the first of 2. Hodge shooting 47.8% at the free throw line, as Isaac Anstred will step off. 19 for him. Council with 24. Stone leading all scorers with 12. Cordero with 11. All 11 of Jabnell's points were in that first half, as the lead now to 29, largest it has been. 31-14, the Mustangs have outscored the Express in the second half as Simon turns it over, and that's just too easy. 26th point, team high for Melvin Council Jr. off that steal. And then Stone drills it too hard for Niang. And it'll go over to the Mustangs. The Express were punching away of 26-18, and you really look at what happens at a standpoint, and even though what the score is, you want to kind of finish strong, but they have shown an ability when they play these top-tier teams, they're always better the second time around in that following game against D3 opponents within their region. As Hodge down low. And a foul call. We'll see if Stone says that should go to me. We'll see if it's Babacar Niang, that's 5 for him. And it is Babacar Niang, so that will be the end of his day. As David Gordon checking in. Product of Montego Bay, Jamaica. 6'10", 230. And so Niang will step off. So for the Monroe Mustangs, keeping it on both sides, again, beat Harcum College. They took out SUNY Sullivan, again, gave them their first loss of the year. And, of course, Melvin Council Jr., the reason why the sophomore, ridiculous stretch of that one. 18 points in the final, 5:30. And they beat Harcum College. After this win, they will have ASA College on Thursday. So originally that was supposed to be, but now I guess that's on the schedule here, was supposed to be an Express game. So that'll be their next matchup. Then they'll take on Lackawanna College the following Tuesday. Go on the road to Harcum. Lackawanna College finish with ASA. But Mustangs can finish out strong, be in good shape here regionally. Back to the districts. Inching in on the 19th win on the season. Monroe Express came in with 15 wins. The most they've won in program history is 17. So the 17 mark going to definitely be looked at, because that was 17 and 13, and that was when Gian Batista, a man who set so many records here and probably will end up ripping records at Lehman College in the NCAAs, was able to get him to 17 wins. Chris Neely's come in this year. These 15 wins, been impressive. Beat Division II. Bryant and Stratton came back in the second half in that one. Knocked off Nassau Community College. And if you look in the top 10 in the Division III poll of the NJCAA, the only loss for Suffolk Community College was here at New Rochelle. So they have the wins on the resume. They also have a stain on it, the bad loss to Bronx Community College, as Cordero now with 13 points, one that they hope to bounce back on Tuesday. This was definitely a good test. But for Chris Neely, a travel now called on Gordon. Wants to win all of them, he's told me. And Niang and Johnson have fouled out. So we're going to see a lot from Damon Brooks Jr. Stone has 3 fouls. Simon in. Cordero on the other side. Yeah, easy call as Simon pushes off. So for Jaden Simon, that'll be his 4th. Josiah Barnes now with 108 assists, which is top on the team. Came in number 8 in the country in that category. He's just a freshman too. So much more of his game where you can't wait to see here. And 108, he now is now just 6 assists away from tying Gian Battista's single season mark of 114. It's unbelievable. As David Brooks Jr. able to get that one away. Jabnel Cordero, great hustle, and he'll draw a foul and get rewarded with some free throws. As racing towards that ball, another way to put it out about talking about racing. The Monroe Express track team today, that men's 4x400 relay team, which if you really want to know, keep tuning in to monroeexpress.com. Probably Monica Stevens' best team on this track squad. They set a new record in time, 3:25:47 in the 4x400. We'll have a graphic up as I am the SID of the Monroe Express, John Kelly Jr., later for you. As Cordero goes 1 of 1. Shout out to his family in Puerto Rico, Jose Cordero, liking our stuff, as that'll be the last time we will see Melvin Council Jr. He did what he had to do, as Cordero goes a perfect 2 for 2 at the line. As Council Jr. will finish the day with 26. Cordero leading all scorers with 15, led all scorers with 18 last game. He is really just starting to flourish down the stretch. Kelton for 3, good. And really, it's been the 3 ball that has absolutely hurt the Express here down the stretch. 10 threes knocked down by the Mustangs. Barnes, the stone, tees it up. That one off the mark. Gordon with the rebound, almost traveled. I checked that Campbell on the rebound. That one is first. Gets it. And Jaden Simon will have drawn his 5th foul. So now you're going to probably see the Express go more to a smaller lineup outside of the size in Stone and Brooks Jr. So that is it for Jaden Simon's evening. 2 points, Simon 4 rebounds. And Jarrell Campbell misses the first of 2. Coach Brosted's squad. As Campbell goes 1 for 2, shooting 76, now 77%. And again, close to making it 5 consecutive wins. They won last game convincingly despite shooting 57% against Harkham, as another turnover by the Express. As Kelton could not finish and goes out of play. And it will be an offensive rebounding dead ball. Gordon, that one rims out. Rebound by Stone. Isaiah with 12 in this one to Barnes. To Duke. Cordero to Damon Brooks Jr. Fade away. Good! He continues to get 5 or so attempts like that. He'll make 4 out of them. The big guy with a beautiful left-handed jumper. 6 is career high against BMCC. He had all 6 in that final 5 minutes of that one. And he gets on the score sheet here. Working defensively. And he gets outworked here by David Gordon as the Jamaican native with his 3rd point. Leading out to 42. Cordero spinning. Feeds Barnes. Tees a 3. That one cannot fall. As Gordon with it. And hands down to Rayla Joe. Plants, but lost his footing and traveled. So we'll go over here to the Express. Well, after this game, of course, the gauntlet starts for this team here. Regional rivalry against the Bronx Community College. That'll be a 7 o'clock game this Tuesday. They wanted to be ready for it. Of course, ASA Manhattan will play the Mustangs next from the schedule. So Stone, 3. That one rims out. Rebound by Joe. Can start a 3-on-2. Puts it behind his back. Pulls up and connects. Wow. So after this one here in New Rochelle, we'll be back here on Saturday of next week when Westchester Community College comes in. And the Express really have Suffolk and Nassau in 2 of their last 4. Really to dictate. You put Dutchess in there as Barnes denied by Gordon. Nassau at Suffolk, but especially Dutchess, with just 2 losses in region. All 3 of those games so important. And of course, Kingsborough on the road. The Express will be challenged with Westchester after this one, after the Bronx on Tuesday. Game that really they need to have, as they lost to the Bronx earlier, right before Christmas. That 3 no good by Barnes. And a foul called. And we'll see who this is on. Looks like it'll be Cordero. Mustangs, of course, we said will take on ASA on Thursday at 8 o'clock. So that'll be right after the women take on ASA for the Monroe Express. The women will be in action trying to bounce back against Bronx Community College on Tuesday. That'll be the first of the 2. And we'll try to give you updates as quick as we can on Twitter. No live stats or video provided by Bronx Community College. We'll be here for the JV men's game against Toro College, as that was our first game today, as Mike Tewitt's squad fell to a late rally by Sullivan in that one. We'll have that here on MonroeExpress.com. Chad Duke to Barnes. Out to Cordero. Trying to add to this day. A nice offensive board. David Brooks Jr. can't put back. But Isaiah Stone with the offensive board, drawing the contact, and he will go to the line. And so a timeout now called. And that will be by the Express. So 4:28 to go. Xavier Smith, my producer, director, John Kelly Jr., the final part of our inter-school matchup. Of course, I'm the SID at the Monroe Express. Mustangs won 67-42 against the Express. Held them to no points in that first quarter. And despite how hard Jeremy Thompson's squad competed, they still were not able to win. Naira Spady, 17 points, 8 boards in that one. And great day here from Dana Warner's squad, as he had 3 players in double figures, led by Olivia Medford, team's leading scorer at 12.4 per game coming in. She had 16, 15 by Deja Wentz. And Sarah Carvajal-Caro with 12. One of the better 6th women on that squad. And for the men's team here, for the Monroe Express, 2-game winning streak going to come to a close. So they'll go to 15-7. They're 2 away from the single season mark for wins of 17. They could get 1 win closer, and they're going to have to defeat the Bronx, a team they fell to when they were number 13 in the country, and that really knocked them out of the polls. They had dominated a top 10 Hostos team, who they've split with, beat Suffolk, and that, that loss, that was really tough for them, to the Bronx. So that's a big bounce back game. They need, as Chris Neely said, a look ahead game by accident when they fell. They fell that one 67-62. They'll try to get revenge on Tuesday at 7 after this Monroe Inter-School Classic. This one was fun. 26-18. You look at the score now, you wouldn't know it, but the Express did lead. But the Mustangs just got hot down the stretch. And really, with that 26-18 mark, the Express had numerous opportunities to go up by double digits. So they got to look at that on the film and really say, hey, we got something here. And it's just all about building off of that and staying consistent. 25-5, the Mustangs really were able to outscore down the stretch, go into halftime with a double-digit lead. And they have never looked back. Hodge for three, short, and defensive board by Chad Duke. To Barnes. Josiah thought he would shoot there. Instead goes to Stone. Nothing underneath to Duke. Duke, three ball. Off the back iron. Stone tips it. Can't get a hold of it. Defensive board by Joe. Out to Hodge. Driving. Floater. Good. So Hodge with 8 points as 3:32 to go. Duke, nice weave. Cannot make it go. Followed by Stone. That won't go, and I think he drew contact on Kelton. So Stone one rebound away from another double-digit rebounding performance. One more to be two in his last three. Just missed another double-double by one rebound last game. Misses the first of two. It was his team-leading 14th double-double. Cordero will come off. Good day by Jabnell Cordero. If he continues to stay hot from three, it's going to be very tough. He had 18 against Kingsborough today. Another double-figure performance back-to-back. As Cordero going to finish with 15. 11 of his 15 came in the first half. Really was Isaac Anstred, but 19 in this one for the Mustangs. Really was what Cordero did in that first half, which was knock down threes. Hodge trying to get into double figures. That one off the back iron, offensive board by Campbell. Then he lost control. Great steal by McNair. Sadiq McNair splits. And he got fouled going up. It will stay with the Express. McNair had 11 last game, and we hear some cheering as Isaiah Hanley and Jeremiah Cherry will check in. As the Express able to convert. So Isaiah Stone, 17 points, 4 assists today for Josiah Barnes. He now has 109. He's inching closer and closer to Giambaptista's single season mark. As the Mustangs just want to kind of roll some clock here. And a jumper good by Gerald Campbell. Mustangs have 11 players that have scored today. How about that from David Brooks Jr.? Doing a little Melvin Council Jr. finish. Brooks with 4 today. And nice steal by Chad Duke. Maybe this could be a highlight reel. He can get up 2 and drew contact with 1:56 to go. So Duke will go to the free throw line. He had 12 against Ulster County Community College, 12 against Cecil, of course 16 against BMCC. That was much earlier in the season. That 12 against Cecil was really outstanding for him. And what are the guys on the bench here for Chris Neely? A deep bench that he has that he's going to develop and develop, and maybe eventually could find himself in that starting 5. Has 2 points today. 0 for 2 at the line. And now he's 1 for 3. As we will see Gene Carlos Trinfil come in the game. So Josiah Barnes' day is done. 5 assists, team high for him. 8 points, 3 rebounds. And Duke goes 1 for 2, so 1:53 to go. As Mustangs going to take this inter-school duel. They'll sweep both. As the women took care of business earlier, 67-42. And the Mustangs right now team that comes in explosive. Averaging 83.3 points per game. 3-ball by Cherry. Rims out. The crowd ready to explode. That one was good. And you can hear defense from the crowd. Isaiah Stone to Duke. Trudfall going up, cannot connect. And Joe with the defensive board. Alley-oop, finished. Isaiah Hanley will put that one down. Joe with the assist. Crowd going wild right now. The third assist for Joe, under a minute to go. McNair. So the Express 2-game winning streak is over. It will go to a 5-game winning streak for the Mustangs. And they will carry that one. So they'll go to 19-5 on the year. ASA will follow on Thursday, Lackawanna. Then they finished the season on the road at number 7 Harkin, with it defeated before this game. Lackawanna, then ASA. So they've now had 80 or more points in 4 out of their 5 games as McNair knocks down the free throw. So 46 seconds to go. And winning streak will be extended to 5. This one was fun. Not going to lie to you, to kick off. Express led 26-18, but the Mustangs just too much at the end of the day. And now serving up an alley-oop from Raylan Joe. And that bench loves it. 24 seconds to go. McNair on a J. That one air ball. Nice job on the offensive glass by Carlos Trunfuel. He gets 2 points. And we'll see here, Gerald Campbell being told by his coach to let this one run out. So in this duel, the inter-school battle, it's going to be both Mustang teams that are victorious, as the women won earlier by the score of 67-42, and the men complete it, winning 95-63, and that is how it ends. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Special thanks to David Spiegel, our SID, for getting everything set up. For Alex Smith, my producer and director, I'm Monroe Express SID John Kelly Jr., as the Mustangs take the both of these ones in the inter-school duel, the men, by a final of 95-63 to close it out. Have a good evening.